Happy Easter. It's Leah and Michelle, Resistance Chicks. It is Sunday, the 21st of April, 2019. It's Easter Sunday.
Happy Easter, guys.
Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Sunday, as a lot of people like to call it.
I'm all down with that. I'm all down with that.
Why don't we tell them what happened last night for those of you that haven't seen the little video that we did. We went to see the Pilgrim's Progress showing, special showing, which they changed somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah.
From 7 o'clock to only 12:55 in the afternoon.
Right.
So we show up at 7 to see Pilgrim's Progress, and they're like, there was only one showing for that today. So we were going to leave, and Leah's like, hey, what about seeing that new Breakthrough movie? And we kind of went back and forth, like, should we spend the money? Yeah, we're cheap. Mm-hmm. But we decided to go ahead and see it, and I have to tell you guys, it was so encouraging. I was blown away by the fact that we went to a movie made by Hollywood, and Jesus and the Holy Spirit and the healing power of God was the central theme throughout.
I think I'll play a trailer so they can get
Hang on, our power went off here.
Yeah, it was so powerful. The reviews, people are leaving comments all over their Facebook page.
Yeah.
They're all like, hey, they're not, hey, nice movie. Facing the Giants, a good movie.
Yeah.
Fireproof Your Marriage, and
right.
A lot of these movies, they've been good.
Courageous.
Yeah. A lot of these have been good.
They're great.
But this movie, like, it hit hard. I mean, it was like emotional roller coaster from beginning to end, and the power of God was in that theater the entire time.
Yeah.
So let me play this for you guys. And it's based on, I'm going to play this when I get internet.
I hope you all are having a wonderful Easter, and I would love to see in the comments what you guys are doing today, what you've already done to celebrate Easter, or to kind of just do it at home on your own.
Yeah, so guys, why don't
you get an advertisement for the advertisement?
Yeah, you get an advertisement for the advertisement. Oh! I want you guys to in the comments leave what you guys are doing for Easter.
Rise and shine. Breakfast is ready in 10 minutes. And don't make me come back up there. This is our town. It's a close-knit community. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone.
Hi, Miss J.
Hey, how are you girls? And we're always there for each other.
Nice sermon, Pastor. What do you guys have on for the rest of the day?
Well, John has a basketball game.
Yeah, I've seen this guy hoop it up around here. This kid is so lit.
Text your mom tomorrow and tell her when and where to pick you up. And, don't do anything stupid.
Love you guys.
Boys, get off the ice!
We're training for the Olympics, sir.
Cindy.
He's been underwater for more than 15 minutes.
And it's based on a true story, by the way.
We got him!
We've done everything medically possible. There's nothing more we can do.
No. Please, God, send your Holy Spirit to save my son.
I have goosebumps just watching the preview, and we saw it last night.
A 14-year-old St. Charles boy who spent 15 minutes trapped underwater is continuing to fight for his life.
I don't believe John will survive the night.
You don't know my son. He is a fighter. So I need you to be the best for John, and you just let God do the rest. You are my pride and joy. I can't wait to see you shoot those baskets and run up and down the court again.
The Smith family asked for one thing. Please pray for John.
In the water that day, I was ready to give up, but then I hear this voice telling me, go back. Either I'm nuts,
Or God's talking to you.
but I don't believe in God.
I believe it, but maybe that only goes so far with something like this.
I'm your pastor. I'm supposed to walk alongside you for as long as it takes.
Did you see the Facebook page? It's gone viral.
Tommy,
I hope he's gonna be okay.
we're not gonna get through this alone. Whatever you have for me, for Brian, for John, I surrender.
So it debuted essentially for Easter weekend, which is so powerful to me because it's Resurrection Sunday.
Yeah.
And we kind of have a story of a real life resurrection, of coming back to life. And another thing that hit me really hard last night was the fact that our theater was packed. Yeah. And that means that there is an outcrying for films like this,
On a
for
Saturday
messages
night,
like this.
On a Saturday night.
We were in the big theater, which they never put the Christian movies in the big theaters. So it was really, really powerful.
I haven't been a big theater.
So I want you guys to go and see Breakthrough as soon as you can. And if you can't see it in the theaters, definitely see it when it comes out on DVD. Sean says, Happy Easter to all. I'm afraid I've been busy today painting, cutting grass, and vacuuming, but we did have Mom around for a Sunday roast, and we have a barbecue tomorrow and an Easter egg hunt. That sounds absolutely delightful, Sean.
Everybody else, we want to hear what you're doing today.
We do want to hear what you guys are doing or what you have done or what you're planning on doing. Our family Easter with the little ones will be next Sunday, hopefully with the deck done. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to work on the deck today. I'm going to get in the bees. We did all of the cooking yesterday so that it would be ready.
We're grilling out.
And
we didn't know that because we didn't have a ham ready.
I know. Yeah, I told Leah yesterday. I said pick up a ham because we didn't have any of our own pork like hammed up.
We didn't ham it. We meant to.
So instead, we're gonna. I saw that when I was putting the groceries away yesterday. I was like, oh, this will go nicely with my potato salad and pasta salad and meringue pie and whatnot.
So, bringing it down to a different realm right now.
We have to cover this. It's so important.
You guys, I'm gonna put a bunch of things together for you, but they arrested a guy in Spain plotting an attack on churches this week. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame was burned.
Right.
Don't tell me. I will not believe after this that was a coincidence.
Right.
I will not believe that it was an accident.
Yeah.
It was the first day of Holy Week. I'm convinced because the surrounding. Sometimes they tell you as a police detective to check around surrounding evidence. We have in Sri Lanka at least 200 killed, over 400 injured today, Easter Sunday. These people, these Christians, were on their way to church, and it wasn't just churches. It was a few Westernized hotels. So this was an Islamic terror attack. If you don't believe that Christianity is under attack, Christians are under attack, and it's time for the mainstream media to wake up and say it.
Right.
Christians are under attack. Christians are under attack because you have somebody like Jussie Smollett, where the entire world believes and jumps on the bandwagon because they believe that gay people are under attack when they're not.
Absolutely.
Okay? But Christians are literally being blown to bits, especially in Muslim-dominated countries.
Well, but you can't say that because it's completely, that's racist.
Multiculturalism that they say makes people stronger.
Yeah.
When you have when the scales tip and Muslims dominate in a country, they invoke Sharia law and terrorist attacks happens against Christians. This is a fact.
So I want to read
an unemotional fact.
I want to read something from Perry Stone Ministries that a friend of ours sent us. Says, terror attack, 8 churches hit. When I got up preparing for church, I was made aware that over 185 Christians, and there's more than that now, it's over 200, have been killed and 300 injured. Now I know it's over 400, with 8 suicide bombers when they entered churches and hotels where Christians were meeting to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. There was a warning given that this was possible 1 week ago. However, these brave believers refused to cancel services because of this threat. The area where this terrible series of attacks is in the nations of Sri Lanka, where there is much persecution against Christians. Often, persecution against Christian churches and Christians is not reported on the news in America. In fact, to protect some leaders, the U.S. almost goes out of their way to avoid reports of torture and arrest. One such nation is China. Another nation that is presently persecuting Christians and burning down churches is India, as videos have been released but have been banned on social media. It seems if in America we say anything to expose the hatred and death found in another religion, we are suddenly hate mongers. Christianity is the only religion that it seems to be legal to persecute in nations where the Christian population is weak. Please pray for the persecuted Christians around the world. We cannot worship freely in the manner we do. 185 Christians, we now know there's more, will be given a special crown for giving their lives for the gospel of Christ. See Revelations 6.
Update as of 4 hours ago. Actually, I'm going to do some updates. 207 have now died with over 450 people injured.
And with that massive amount of injuries, the number of dead will rise.
This Donald
So
Trump
we need
6
to pray.
hours ago, exactly. 138 people have been killed in Sri Lanka, with more than 600 badly injured in a terrorist attack on churches and hotels. The United States offers heartfelt condolences to the great people of Sri Lanka. We stand ready to help. Somebody saying, Tony Schaefer, hey, Elon Omar, is this more people, some people doing something? Because that's what she said about
well, and
River of Blood. Sri Lanka blocks Facebook, WhatsApp after a wave of Islamic bombings of churches on Easter, citing misinformation concerns about Islam.
Wow.
So imagine if anyone dared to shut down social media after the...
here's the thing, guys. It isn't just us that are hearing about it now. Okay, so when we say the mainstream media isn't allowed to talk about it, people are hearing about this morning, today.
But they're shutting down social media, so you can't talk badly about Muslims in Sri Lanka. The devastation here, I don't know what they use, but this is not a little car bomb.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the building is literally blown to smithers stinkinines. Look at that. That had to be. That was not. I mean, this was look at this, you guys. This was. Oh my gosh. 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 So there were almost simultaneous explosions. So this was a well-planned Muslim terror attack. Sunday morning. Here you have in Badikalo, how do you say that? Here, Kakachide.
Whoa, that's close.
Nogumbo, Colombo, and
no
Douala.
Is that an O or a
the
C?
Zoo. A hotel in front of the zoo was attacked.
Wow.
In the Sri Lanka, Cinnamon Grand and Kingsbury hotels were attacked. Another explosion at a house in Demontagoda. Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. That was a really good attempt.
Thank you. Trying hard.
Pronouncing
So, I want to go back to this Breitbart article and just kind of read it from the beginning here so you guys get an idea of what's going on. More than 200 people were killed and hundreds more hospitalized from injuries after a series of blasts devastated 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels in Sri Lanka. We know that luxury hotels mean Western. Western means anti-Islam, anti-Sharia law, anti-Muslim, mostly Christian. The targets were Catholic worshippers attending Easter Mass and guests at high-end hotels popular with foreign tourists. This is a picture of a Sri Lankan security personnel walk past dead bodies covered with blankets and blast debris at St. Anthony's Shrine following an explosion in the church in Colombo today, April 21st, 2019. A string of blasts ripped through the high-end hotels and churches holding Easter services in Sri Lanka on April 21st, killing, we know.
So Stormbear says the New Zealand mosque, the Notre Dame fire, Sri Lankan bombings, and the attack on the Munich German church attack also last night, injuring 24 people. This is a game changer. We have entered into a new elevated era.
2 of the blasts were suspected to have been suicide bomber attacks, according to one official who spoke to the AP on anonymity. Reports now indicate a 7th explosion in Sri Lanka capital has killed 2 people. 7 explosions. Police spokesman, I can't say his name, said the blast hit a hotel in southern Colombo in the suburb of Daliwala. Worshippers and hotel guests were among the fatalities, the official said, in the biggest violence in the southern Asian country since its civil war ended a decade ago. 9 foreigners are among the dead. I actually read that number was like 35 foreigners, so that there could be Americans in there. We don't know yet. 3 hotels were hit. The Kingsbury Hotel, were the Shangri-La Colombo, the Kingsbury Hotel in Colombo, and the Cinnamon Grand in Colombo. And just one church, St. Sebastian's, north of the Sri Lankan capital, more than 50 people were killed. A police report told Rodgers, with pictures showing bodies on the ground, blood on the pews, and a destroyed roof. This is an ambulance is seen outside the church premises with gathered people and security personnel following a blast at the St. Anthony Shrine. Here we've got some police officers here. The Prime Minister, Dear Lord in heaven, please, I can't pronounce that. Wickremeshinki.
Sure.
Ranel, that's his first name. Let's call it Prime Minister Ranel. Immediately called a National Security Council meeting at his home. I strongly condemn the cowardly attacks on our people today. I call upon all Sri Lankans during this tragic time to remain united and strong, he said in a tweet. Photos circulating on social media showed the roof of one church had been almost blown off in the blast. The floor was littered with a mixture of roof tiles, splintered wood, and blood. The carnage has been met with an official response from Sri Lanka's Ministry of Economic Reforms and Public Distribution. Hershey De Silva, he said in a tweet, emergency meeting called in a few minutes, rescue operations underway. So here's the heads of the Army and the Navy and the Air Force, along with the Secretary of Defense and Secretary of Foreign Affairs are all meeting. All necessary emergency steps are taken by the government of Sri Lanka.
So it's interesting. The New York Times, the way that they worded that censoring that you were talking about on social media, they said...
Sri Lankan, right down here.
Wait, where did it go?
Right there.
Okay,
Sri Lankan
yeah.
temporary blocked major social media and messaging services.
Right, to curb misinformation, which makes it sound like they're just doing it because they don't want, false parts of the story being, spread. But it does say that at least 27 of the dead were foreigners, several of them American. The authorities said other victims were British, Chinese, Dutch, and Portuguese nationals. According to official and news reports. So that's really
I guess this head guy, Hershey, said that he revealed he had been to 2 of the attacked hotels and was at the scene at St. Anthony's Shrine and described horrible scenes. I saw many body parts strewn all over, he tweeted, adding that there were many casualties, including foreigners. Please stay calm and stay indoors. Christians make up just 7.4% of the predominantly Buddhist country's total population of 22.4 million. An estimated 82% of Sri Lankan Christians belong to the Roman Catholic Church.
Wow.
So there are...
it does say that it was 10 days, actually, prior to these bombings that they had issued, like, a warning that this was going to happen. It says it's unclear what measures were taken as far as, people being protected. But I don't think it doesn't seem like any were taken, I don't know. It says on Sunday, reflecting frictions within the government, the prime minister pointedly said he had not been informed. Interesting.
Wow. Let's see if this says there's anything. I haven't played this yet. Let's see if there's an update here by Fox News.
We are learning from authorities that at least 207 people were killed in these bombings in Sri Lanka and hundreds injured. The death toll is expected to rise. The first round of bombings this morning targeted 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels across the island, according to police. Another 2 bombings occurred later in the day. Authorities say the majority of the 8 bombings happened in the capital city of Colombo, and reports do indicate that 35 foreign nationals were killed, including American citizens. Police have arrested 7 people believed to be connected to the attacks. Footage shows one suspect being loaded into a police car as an angry crowd throws punches at him. The 3 hotels that were hit are all popular for tourists visiting the island, and many likely came to celebrate the Easter holiday with friends and family. Video footage from the site of one church shows blood strewn across the pews and bodies covered with sheets. Many churches in Sri Lanka have now canceled their Easter services out of fear that another bombing could occur.
That was blood all over the walls, by the way.
That was very disturbing.
Following the tragedy, President Trump tweeted his condolences, saying the United States stands ready to help. Although just over 7% of Sri Lanka's population...
Of course, it's going to slow down on me. Okay, keep playing. Make it smaller. Come on, baby. Something went wrong. Refresh my browser. I have to talk to my internet provider. We've been getting worse and worse lately. So while if it comes back up.
So I want to show these people something. And Leah, I think you'll be okay with it. I saw this and I wanted to fact check it to make sure that it was actually real. But apparently, because we were talking about Notre Dame, because you just said after what happened today, don't tell me that Notre Dame last week was, you know what I mean? Not like coincidental. Okay. So Michelle Obama apparently was on some sort of like little Paris cruise at the time of the Notre Dame. So I'm going to switch over here and see. I want you guys to see something. I want you to take a really close look at that glass that she's drinking right there. Now, I couldn't find the picture where other people have blown it up, but what you are seeing there is Notre Dame and the smoke billowing from it. So here she is sipping wine when or champagne, excuse me, when she finds out, but it's not that she's finding out because she can see it. It's reflected in her glass there. Like I said, I saw the picture blown up. I couldn't find that right now when I was just looking for it. And I just thought that was a little bit disturbing. I don't know. I'm not going to put anything on that. Okay. You guys can put onto that whatever you want. But all I had to do was Google Michelle Obama Notre Dame and images. And this is what you can go over there.
Where is the rest of the article?
Right here.
Notre Dame burning detracts from ambiance of Michelle Obama's
serene
sign.
Sign. That's the river
sign. Yeah.
Dinner cruise. On Twitter,
smoke from the Notre Dame reflected in Michelle Obama's wine glass.
Yeah, so it's hard to notice reflection on the glass there. The Daily Mail staffers likely didn't notice it, or maybe they would not have posted the picture. I don't know. Other skeptics have suggested that it's just a random reflection that only happens to look like Notre Dame. Look at it again. Probably not. Probably not. She was there. Okay. Probably not. I find that to be incredibly, incredibly disturbing when we have heads of state of sorts. Okay. Former heads of state, the former first lady and president there at the time of the burning. It's like, okay, I'm just going to say it. It's almost as if they are sick and twisted enough to know it's going to happen and want a front row seat.
Wow. On Good Friday and beyond, remember Christians who aren't allowed to take refuge in the U.S. This is from the USA Today, and I wanted to bring up some articles about Christian persecution. And what's interesting is this was written 2 days ago.
Wow.
Before this attack. On Good Friday and through the year, we must advocate for those who are powerless in the face of torture and persecution because of their faith. As Christians remember the torturous crucifixion of Jesus Christ at the hands of the Roman Empire, we should also be mindful of the many around the world. And what's so funny is that the merciful crucifixion wasn't at the hands of the Roman Empire. It was the Jews that wanted to persecute him. And Pilate said, I don't want to do it. Anyway, 250 million Christians, 1 out of every 9 Christians globally, live in countries where Christians face persecution, usually at the hands of the government. Last year, an average of 11 Christians were killed daily for their faith in 50 countries, according to the Open Doors USA World Watch List.
Unbelievable.
Tell me that for Muslims. Tell me that for Buddhists. Tell me that for any other religion in the world.
Wow.
Let's see. Last year, the Trump administration held the first ministerial to advance religious freedom, which convened a broad range of stakeholders, including foreign ministers, international organizations, and everybody got together to try to help fix this. But I don't know if they've done it. Last year, the administration set the refugee standards. Oh, well, now it's the administration's fault. And now they just want to talk about how awful Donald Trump is for not bringing the Christians over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is ignored in the West, but Christianity, that's just going to show you how bad USA Today is. Hey, Christians are persecuted, but Donald Trump capped refugees from coming over because we can bring all Christians here. Why don't we stop the persecution in their countries?
Do you know they would lose their mind if we actually just brought in the persecuted Christians? No, you have to have an open door policy for everybody, whether they're persecuted or not, which is the opposite of what a refugee is supposed to be.
It is ignored in the West, but Christianity is the most persecuted religion. Why is there such silence on the issue? And this person says, I was up before dawn this morning preparing for our first service of Easter. This is written by, who is this? Written by Giles Fraser. It doesn't say who he is. Preparing for our first service of Easter, this meant that around the same time as bombs were going off in churches in Sri Lanka, I was reading a passage to my congregation taken from the book of Ezekiel. The passage tells of dead bones coming back together, of bodies being reclothed in flesh, of life being breathed back into them. Over in Sri Lanka, bones were being blown apart and flesh stripped from the skin. Wow. These people woke up this morning full of hope, excited in anticipation of the story of Jesus' resurrection. They put on their best clothes and polished their shoes. Now their blood is being mopped from the sanctuary floor. I was talking the other day to the classiest Mary Beard about Christian persecution in Roman times, all that stuff about lions in the Colosseum. She was of the opinion that it might not have been quite as big a deal as later Christians made it out to be. And no doubt there's nothing quite like a few over-egged stories of gory martyrdom to deepen a sense of group solidarity among a struggling religious community. Well, I bow to Mary's greater knowledge of classical Rome, but while it may have been true that too much was made of Roman persecution, the very opposite is true now. We are living through one of the most serious phases of Christian persecution in history, and most people refuse to acknowledge it. And where does it come from? Islam. During the past century, Christians have been all but driven out of the Middle East by Islam, the place of its birth. This time last year, this author was in Damascus visiting the Christian community there. On the front of the church that I went to on Sunday morning, there was a huge mural depicting the horrors of the Armenian genocide, which we just watched a movie on, which I had never heard about until recently, where Turkey killed, from what I understand, 1 million Christians or over more.
It's unbelievable. It's staggering.
Absolutely insane. And I don't even think the movie didn't even show. It was, you didn't get the breadth of
the depth of it.
These Christians were originally refugees from Turkey and had arrived there fleeing the most sustained and horrendous persecution. How much of this story do we know? This week, the Israeli historians Benny Morris and Dori Zavi will publish a much-awaited account of the period. The 30-year genocide, Turkey's destruction of its Christian minorities, argues that from 1894 to 1924, the Turkish authorities systematically murdered 2.5 million Christians. At the beginning of that period, in places like Anatolia, Christians accounted for 20% of the population. By the end of it, there was just 2% left. Throughout the 20th century and into the 21st, Christians have been driven from the Middle East with bombs and bullets and with hardly a bat squeak of protest from the secular West. Why no outrage? Yes, these horrendous murders. Imagine if it was reversed. We saw what happened with the Christ Church and everybody's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. One.
Right.
One. Okay, we can mourn, we can feel bad. But until you give the outrage for the millions of Christians, you're literally swallowing a camel and swatting a gnat.
Yeah.
Okay? Seriously, this is not equal. The outrage is insane. That
here's the thing. It's not even so much.
Sense.
Wait a minute though, because it's not even so much that there's no outrage as much as it is that it's not being shared. People don't hear about it. Okay, right. If the outrage isn't, the lack of outrage isn't coming from the people, it's coming from the fact that the mainstream media doesn't cover it, so people can't hear about it.
Even if they did, what I felt with the Christ Church, not what I felt, but what I felt coming from the world,
right?
And they took away people's guns over it. It was like
true, very true.
Wham, bam, done.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like, we're going to change this. This is awful, and everybody keeps bringing it up over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right. But when it comes with the London bombings and Manchester, it's like, oh, it's just Muslims. Muslims going to do what Muslims going to do.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Right.
But when somebody attacks a Muslim, that's not normal.
Yeah.
What we've got to is that Christian persecution is the new normal.
Yeah.
And to show the outrage is actually a good thing to see, that Muslim persecution and Muslim destruction and death and murders are not normal.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. Why no outrage? Yes, these horrendous murders will make the press for a day or two, but Christchurch went on and on. The whole world wanted to change policies because one crazy dude said that he wanted to cause this division. We generally care more about the fire in a famous cathedral than we do about those people who have their bodies blown to bits. And that's true. People were mourning over a building. It is a building you can rebuild, but no one died. Okay? Blown to bits in architecturally less significant places of worship. What if we would still be hearing about it if people were in Notre Dame and killed?
Yep.
But not Sri Lanka. Why? Because those are brown people. We care. And then who's the racist now?
Exactly.
We care. They don't care. They're brown people. Whatever. They're like the little people.
Right.
They're like they're the people that make our sweaters for 2 cents an hour. So don't care.
Yeah.
So don't care. You know, why the blind spot? Especially given that we do care about so many other forms of oppression. No, it's not a competition, but I do wonder whether on some unconscious level the secular and broadly progressive West thinks that Christianity had it coming.
Right.
They associate Christianity with popes and their armies, with crusades and inquisitions and anti-Semitism and British imperialism and Trump supporters and abortion protesters. Christians in the West haven't helped by describing as persecution the minor runs, whatever. Kate, Christians have debased the word persecution and made it sound whatever. You know what? I don't like the rest of your article, but I get what you're going at. Okay. Worst year yet. This was in 2015. The top 50 countries where it's hardest to be Christian. Here, and that Sri Lanka wasn't on the list. Sri Lanka was actually number 45, where it's hardest to be a Christian. And this article is from 2017. Was the worst year up until then. And right here, if you guys want to know, this is Open Door USA. I like this. 1 Corinthians 12:26 says that we are one body. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part of honored, every part is honored with it. Every month, on average, 345 Christians are killed for faith-related reasons. 105 churches and Christian buildings are burned or attacked, and 219 Christians are detained without trial, arrested, and sentenced, and imprisoned.
Wow.
What if this happened? What if Christians were doing this to Muslims? Now, here's the thing. There is a little bit of outrage happening in China, but against the Muslims, and I deplore that. We would talk about that. Mm-hmm. They have 2 million Muslims detained there. In camps.
Like work camps.
Trying to make them drink alcohol. I do not believe that that's actually wrong, and it's more of a culture thing for them. Let's see. North Korea is ranked number 1 for the 18th consecutive year as the most dangerous country for Christians. Islamic oppression fuels Christian persecution in 8 of the top 10 countries. So, I mean, you've got the spread of Islam across sub-Saharan Africa. You've got, we never hear, I mean, there was another church bomb in Africa last week, like a ton of them, but I didn't cover them. Nigeria. I mean, if
we were to cover all of the attacks, that's all we would do.
That's all we would do. More laws are added to control religion in places like Vietnam, Myanmar, China, and North Korea. So I wanted to bring that to you guys, and we want to
say prayers for those that were affected, the families. Because here's the thing, you can't really say prayers for, in my opinion, we don't say prayers for the dead. They went straight to be with Jesus. You don't need to pray for them. But the families of those that were left behind, and you also need to pray for all of these communities of Christians where they are a minority and they are constantly not just persecuted by death, but persecuted in everyday life.
This was a major attack. The scope and targets and coordination show significant planning by the attackers and skills, and it was all at one time.
Well, there was a couple that happened later in the day. Yeah, by and large, it was all at once.
Pretty much all at once. We are with Sri Lanka. We condemn horrific attack. That's nice.
Wow. Who put that together that fast?
That's pretty fast. Celebrity chef daughter killed in Sri Lanka bombings.
Oh, wow.
The U.S. condemns in the strongest terms the Easter morning terror attacks in Sri Lanka. These attacks demonstrate the brutal nature of terrorists whose sole aim is to threaten peace and security. I don't think that's their sole aim. Honestly, that's not their sole aim.
Right.
Their sole aim isn't to threaten peace and security. Their sole aim is to overthrow Christianity.
Yeah.
That's their sole aim. Why can't we just talk about things? Why can't we just say things? Normally.
Well, and here's the thing. So so I did say they all went to heaven. I don't know that for a fact because these attacks happened at like hotels and whatnot, but I would say by and large. But we do know that the attack was on Christianity when the attack happens at churches on Easter Sunday. Okay? No attacker goes to this level of planning and does so coincidentally on an Easter Sunday. They are trying to make a point that this is a blatant attack against Christianity.
Christianity in the West. Christianity in the West.
It would be nice to see Pompeo.
This is an attack against Christianity in the West.
Just say it.
Just say it. You know, Donald Trump would.
Right.
All right. So, and this was from the Geller Report. A river of blood. Sri Lanka blocks Facebook, WhatsApp after wave of Islamic bombings of churches on Easter, citing misinformation concerns about Islam. So she wrote her article pretty quick. I don't know if we played this or not.
At least 207 people have been killed and many others injured after a series of
and hotels in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday, bringing an end to the lull in major attacks since the end of the civil war 10 years ago. The explosions, some of which officials say were suicide bombs, led to an immediate clampdown. The government quickly declared a curfew and blocked access to most major social media and messaging sites. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe strongly condemned what he called cowardly attacks. Some luxury hotels were targeted in the capital of Colombo, such as the five-star Shangri-La. Footage from local media showed damage from the blasts inside one of the hotels, with ambulances driving away with the injured. Colombo National Hospital said that many wounded people were brought in for treatment, and according to a military spokesperson, troops have been deployed and security stepped up at Colombo's international airport. There were no immediate claims of responsibility for the attacks in a country that was at war for decades with Tamil separatists until 2009. During that time, bomb blasts in the capital were common.
Wow. So, I don't know how I'd be reacting.
No, I don't know how you would react in a situation like that. Just having it happen in your city, in your town, to your friends, to your, acquaintances even, it's devastating, because what it means moving forward is you're now more afraid to be a Christian, and that's the point. The point to persecute Christians is to make Christians not want to be Christians.
So this was shared by Dr. Shiva, Truthful Speech, Happy Easter. So I'm going to play it because I think it's probably pertinent to our discussion here.
Society, I witnessed a woman who sent 5 of her children to die in suicide bombing attacks, one after another. She would put the explosive belt on them and bless them and say, "Go kill the Jews," to gain respect in her society.
I've seen him speak before, but nobody listens to him. He's the son of Hamas leader, Sheikh Hassan. It's like anybody listen to him?
Hypocrisy.
Well, he gets censored.
My father disowned me because he's a hypocrite. On a personal level, he's a loving father. But when he puts the Hamas mask that he cannot exist without, he's a monster, he's something else. But we cannot fool ourselves. There is an Islamic problem. Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, ISIS, Boko Haram, all of them are killing by the name of Allah. They're not killing by the name of Jesus. They're not killing by the name of Jehovah. They're not killing by the name of Mahavira or the Buddha or Lao Tzu. They're killing by the name of Allah. There is an Islamic problem, and I think humanity needs to stand against this danger, because this danger is not only against the state of Israel. This danger, thank you. This danger is against the evolvement of mankind. The Muslim people have a problem, and their problem is in their belief system. They have to face it, and we need to encourage them to fight the good fight, as I did. When the president of the free world stands and say that Islam is a religion of peace, he creates the climate, he provides the climate, the perfect climate to create more terrorism.
He's talking about Obama there.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So, Lord, we just lift up our brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka and their families, and I just know that you are having a rejoicing party for those souls that are in heaven, because you rejoice when one soul goes to heaven. But Father, you mourn the loss that they left and the holes that they left behind because they were taken too early and this was not their time. You did not take them. The devil came and snuffed their lives out. And I pray, Father God, that the blood of the martyrs that it talks about in Revelation will come into your ears, and you will bring justice for Christians around the world, and you will end this persecution of Christians around the world. You will end Islamic terror. You will end jihadism, and you will stop the Western countries from creating destabilizing these Middle Eastern countries that creates a lot of this terror and persecution of Christians. So we just lift them up right now to you, Father. We pray that you receive them into your arms. We pray for the ones that are injured. We pray that you bring speedy healing to their bodies, to their minds, to their souls. I pray that you rebuild their homes and their churches and their lives, because I'm sure fathers were killed, mothers were killed, and people who provided for other people were taken out of this world. So I pray that you take care of those family members that are left, provide them with homes, and provide them with all the things that they need, because a sparrow doesn't fall, but you know it. So you care about these lives. And so I just lift them up to you, and I pray that you draw them into you right now. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. That was very powerful. So we had no intention of coming to you guys on Easter Sunday with this news. We were going to talk about Nigel's Brexit party, and I think we're going to, but it's difficult to make that transition of how do you move forward after covering something like that. And I think that the best way to do that is to remember that Jesus Christ came and he died and he suffered and he rose again. And that's what we're celebrating, so that these souls aren't just snuffed out for no reason. That God has taken them into his bosom and into his arms, and like Leah said, there is a celebration there. So Bruce Wayne says, "Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me." Matthew 24:9. Well said, Batman.
Bruce said that.
Bruce Wayne.
Oh, Batman. Oh my gosh, I'm hilarious. I didn't read the last part.
You're a little slow. Yeah. So there you go. So let's go ahead and hit Farage. Talk about this Brexit party.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Well, right now we're in the UK. Conservatives and Labour have never been in such jeopardy over the failure to appeal to voters. There was a new poll that's out showing that Nigel Farage's Brexit party in 1 week is leading the polls above Labour, Conservatives, and UKIP.
Right.
British voters are drifting away from two legacy establishment parties because of divisions over Brexit. The economy and social issues are not being answered by Labour and the Conservatives. A new analysis of voting trends has found the two main political parties, which have enjoyed a stranglehold in the effective two-party system for a century of British politics, are seeing their voters increasingly dissatisfied. Both Labour and Conservative parties are losing and will continue to lose voters in Nigel Farage's new Brexit party over the failure to deliver Brexit in time, and migration to the new ultra-globalist pro-European Union change to this cuck party, it's a horrible name, is also likely to feature. The new figures, which claim a 41-seat loss for the Conservatives in a snap election and the possibility of a Labour SNP government, comes from an analysis of recent polling by the Electoral Calculus. The two big parties are also losing core supporters to other Brexit-defined parties. Labour supporters are defecting to the Liberal Democrats, Greens, and Change UK, attracted by their stronger Remain stance, and mainstream Conservative voters are switching to Brexit-based parties such as UKIP in frustration at the failure to leave the EU in time.
So Where's It Look says Farage will get most votes. I agree. He will.
So, yeah, and this leads to the question of during a election in the fall, you could see a Labour SNP coalition, which would destroy your country.
Right.
I mean, if you thought that you were already destroyed, I mean, the Conservatives are literally leading their country just because they couldn't deliver Brexit. They decided to May decided to destroy her country.
Right.
She literally decided, I'm going to just destroy it.
Yeah.
Like, burn it in flames. But guys, I have more hope than that for you. Because I think Nigel Farage has a plan, and I think his voice is strong. So, undemocratic, Farage attacks Solbri for not honoring referendum result. Nigel Farage has launched a blistering attack on Change UK MP Anna Solbri in his latest rally in Nottingham. He's going around and around doing these wonderful speeches and rallies. Yeah. Farage was speaking at a rally for his newly launched Brexit party, said that Anna Solbri, standing on a platform of supporting Brexit in her election campaign in 2017, but then opposing it immediately afterwards, was undemocratic and unacceptable. Play this here, if he'll play. He says it's dishonest, it is disrespectful, it's undemocratic, and it's going to play. It's going to play. Nigel does Nigel better than we do Nigel, so you can't just I don't want to impersonate him when he's right there. Okay, video, be my friend today. It's Easter. You know you want to play.
Well, while you're waiting for that to play, you know, we still have the same kind of dissension among the ranks in
which brings me
the chat about Farage versus
Nothing politician.
Okay, that's fine.
Wait, which one is playing?
I was in Beeston the other day. Do you know who their MP is?
Sorry.
Well, it's one Anna Soubry.
There it is.
And here's the problem. It's fine for Anna Soubry to vote Remain in the referendum, to support the Remain campaign. I've got no problem with that. Why should I? It was a choice. But let me tell you what I have got a problem with. I've got a problem with Anna Soubry and actually most people in our parliament who said, as she said, to her constituents that despite her own choice, she would, if she was elected in 2017, honour the referendum result. And what she has done is the complete and absolute opposite. It is dishonest, it is disrespectful, it is undemocratic, and it is wholly unacceptable.
So Britt Baza says that, Michelle, a good nickname for Anna Soubry is Sourpuss Soubry.
Speaking alongside Mr. Farage was newly appointed Brexit Party candidate Anastasia.
No.
Yes.
It's not how you say it, though.
How do you say it?
Anazuat. I don't know how to say it. Just say Rees-Mogg's sister.
Rees-Mogg's sister. Come on, guys. How do you pronounce it? Annie.
I've heard him say it. I just can't repeat it. Just call her Anne.
Are you sure she
It's not Anastasia.
Anastasia.
No.
Anu.
No, I've heard Farage say it. It's not Anastasia. Trust me.
It's like ish. It's like that way. I was just going with it. Could you just go with it?
Just say Rees-Mogg's sister. Anne.
Miss Rees-Mogg, who received a standing ovation from the packed audience, said to the crowd gathered in Nottingham that never in my life did I dream of feeling like Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of the Masters. Addressing the concern that she was too posh to represent ordinary voters, she said, "Yes, I have had a very lucky upbringing, but I didn't choose my parents and I didn't choose my name. We may have different backgrounds. We all have different lives. I doubt we all drive the same car, but we are all people." The rally is the latest major gathering for the Brexit Party, which last weekend hosted their launch event in Coventry and their first political rally in Birmingham. At the event, Mr. Farage mentioned a number of politicians, including Tony Blair and John Major, but it was Miss Soubry's name which received the greatest chorus of boos from the audience. The Brexit Party has recently jumped into the lead in the opinion polls ahead of the European Parliament elections due on May 23rd, according to the latest YouGov poll. The party is currently polling at 23% to Labour's 22%, with the Conservatives at 17%, and Miss Soubry's openly remains supporting Change UK party languishing at just 8%.
Okay, so Stuart the Brit says, Ananuncia.
Ananuncia.
Like you're going to enunciate something.
Okay, I can do that. I can dig it.
Let's see. Ronnie O'Sullivan is a snooker player, just in case you were wondering, Commander, in general. Thank you, Shawnee.
So we do have populists on course to become the largest French party in the EU Parliament election. So we have the French are actually kind of waking up, which I find...
You know the French put forward all these young people?
Yeah. The Populist National Rally could win the most European Parliament seats if any French party With their campaign spearheaded by one of the youngest candidates in the race, the National Rally has been polling strongly for several months, often neck and neck with the Republic on the Move, the party of the French President Emmanuel Macron. According to some recent polls, the party is expected to be in the running to win the most seats, with 23-year-old Jordan Bardella, the leading RN candidate, being dubbed the Crown Prince of the party. Bardella gave an interview to the Financial Times in January saying, "We are going to fight to go to the European Commission to reclaim our 4 levers of sovereignty that are to us essential: our borders, economic and legislative sovereignty, and budget control." The candidate also commented on the French president's handling of the Yellow Vest movement, saying he refuses to listen to the people and insults them whenever he can. Having joined the party at the age of 16, Bardella became the leading candidate in the European elections earlier this year. And we see European parliaments have seen a rise in the populace. They're surging. It's like a literal surge of popularity of the populace.
Yeah.
The election of Bardella would mark one of the youngest members of the European Parliament in its history, with only German MEP elected at the age of 21 in 1999 being younger. Bardella also follows in the footsteps of former French MP and niece of Marine Le Pen, Marianne, who at the time she was first elected was the youngest MP in the French modern political history. So I'm pretty excited about that. The French RN has also confirmed that after next month's parliament election, they will be joining Italian Interior Minister's Matteo Salvini's new parliamentary group, which was unveiled earlier this month. It's a populist supergroup. It's got the True Finns, the Austrian Freedom Party, the Danish People's Party, and the AFD. So this is actually really good news. There's when 2017, when Le Pen lost her election to Emmanuel Macron, when Geert Wilders didn't show as strongly as some had hoped. I think that kind of there was a feeling that you were hoping that it would happen.
Yeah.
But this, everybody is pretty much knowing that this is happening.
That's awesome.
There's not much you can do. This isn't a surprise vote. Populist, anti-migration, and Eurosceptic political parties have been predicted to make advances in the next European Parliament, according to an analyst of polling released by the Parliament itself. The European Parliament completed its final meeting of the 2014-2019 session last Thursday and marked the occasion by releasing its own projections of how it believes the forthcoming elections to select the members of the next session, 2019 to 2024, will see a surge in populist and Eurosceptic members. Although the electoral campaigns for the late May election have barely begun, especially in the United Kingdom, it just started.
Right.
And Farage is already leading. The momentum, this is a snowball, it's an avalanche. If Nigel Farage's party is just a tick above Labour, it's going to just keep going and going and going and going and going, because it's just going to build the movement as he goes around. I'll join your Brexit party. We saw that video last week. I'll join your party. I'll join your party. I'll join your party. Yeah, we're sick of this. Right? And actually the name is absolutely perfect. UKIP, the name, United Kingdom Independence Party, was kind of good, but it meant a lot of different things. Brexit party. That's it.
Yeah.
Brexit party, over and over. It's almost like brainwashing every time you say it. Brexit party, Brexit party, Brexit party, Brexit party. UKIP, nobody really knew what it meant, but everybody knows what Brexit is, and the entire world. So I think that was really smart of him to literally call his party the Brexit party.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's see. You've got Europeans People Party, the centrist right group dominated by Angela Merkel's Christian Democrats, which has been the largest faction in every EU election since 1999. It's predicted to come out on top in this assessment, what will be challenged by the Eurosceptic groups like never before. While the prediction sees the EEP falling 37 seats to 180, the more obviously right-wing Europe of Nations and Freedoms, the EFN group, which is presently the home of the remains of the British UKIP, is set to grow from 21 to 62.
Wow.
The avowedly Eurosceptic Europe of Freedom and Direct Democracy are predicted by the Europe Parliament to pick up another 4 seats, taking them to 45, while the main left-wing group of Socialists and Democrats will fall from 186 to an estimated 149. Yet the wildly fluctuating polling in the United Kingdom on voting intentions for these European elections, not to mention the failure of pollsters to predict the outcome of the 2016 referendum on leaving the European Union, show the difficulty of accepting the European Parliament's estimates as gospel. As Breitbart London reported this week, a new YouGov poll found a significant surge in support for Farage's EFDD-affiliated Brexit party from 15% to 27%, making them the first-ranked party in the United Kingdom. If the Brexit Party could replicate that poll at the elections, it would be a near repeat of Nigel Farage's performance in the 2014 EU elections when the UKIP party, when he gained 28% of the vote. Further polling this week has shown them also looking to achieve between 17 and 12%. The Brexit Party, which only officially launched at the weekend, may be polled more consistently as public awareness of it grows through the election campaign through May.
I think what needs to be understood, and I hope that our viewers that are disenfranchised by Nigel Farage will hear me very clearly. Regardless of whether you support Nigel Farage, all of the United Kingdom has a certain respect, at the very least, for Nigel Farage. Whether they like him or support him or they completely hate him, they respect him. And then beyond that, we saw when Nigel went out into the public, everywhere he goes, he's greeted by people that absolutely love him. Okay, so you may be hurt and you may be upset, like being broken up with, or somebody cheated on you or whatever in your relationship, and you just, as far as you're concerned, Nigel is the devil. Okay, and I get that, but you can't bury your head in the sand and say Nigel isn't the guy that's gonna get Brexit done, because he 100% is the guy, and this Brexit party is going to be the party that does it. You can either get behind it and you can support it, but you don't have to. UKIP is rising in numbers as well. You can stay there. There's no saying that you have to go to the other side, but you do need to recognize that Nigel's Brexit party is probably going to accomplish what you want in the long run. So they aren't your enemy.
Right.
Okay? You need to be able to say, listen, I'm going to stay with UKIP. I believe what Nigel did was wrong. He kind of threw Tommy under the bus or whatever. But from over here, I'm going to say, do your thing and hope you're successful, because you're going to accomplish what we want as well.
Right.
And that's kind of where your stance needs to be on this. So I'm sorry I was laughing earlier. And Tracy, I'm going to read this out loud just because I can. Tracy sent me a message and she said, sorry, I know you're live, but had to message you and I can't stop laughing. Sean salutes the same screen when Commander Michelle reads out loud his chat. He is in a funny mood today. I love Sean so much. I love you, my friend. You are absolutely fantastic and you make me laugh. Just thinking about you makes me laugh. I don't know if you can take that as a compliment, but you should. So Worth a Look says, agreed, ladies. Jack Russell says, Nigel has given 25 years of his life for Brexit. Stuart the Brit says, Brexit for the European election. Let's see how they do. If bad, UKIP for general election. And I think that that's not a bad idea. Let's just wait and see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
wait. TomTom34B says, quick question. Do you track the news in the Ukraine? No. Not unless something comes up, I should say. Where a TV comedian is expected to beat the current president in the second election.
Actually, yes, I knew about that.
Ah.
Yes.
Of course
thank
Leah
you for
would know
bringing
about
that up. I don't know much about him. All I know is that headlines say comedian set to win Ukraine election.
So, but do we know? We don't know anything about like his political stance or anything like that.
He won.
He won.
He won today. We probably could put it in the title.
Oh, he won today.
So, see if we can get this to open up.
Sean says, oh, thank you, Commander, or my wonderful friend. We stinking love you all at God's Little Acre, too. Did I say stinking? I probably did.
Yeah, of course, my site can't be reached.
Kaya says, in Poland, the balance of coal resources is about 500 billion tons, and by gasification, it is possible to transform into syngas about 400 billion tons of hard coal, which from which you can get a minimum. Storm Bear says he won 70% of the vote.
I'm just really not loving my internet today.
I'm sorry.
I can get places, but then it won't open up anything. All right, let's try this again. Come on, let's see if I can do it this way.
Christine on Facebook Live says to have a blessed Resurrection Day.
Internet.
Thank you, Christine.
We're going to connect.
So
this is breaking news, so I do want to cover it.
Is a comedian the best choice for a country? And is this going to be a standard set that we see? We've got Donald Trump, who's unconventional.
Comedian Volodymyr
Zelensky.
unseats incumbent in Ukraine's... Stop. I don't want to pay an ad. Okay. You know, you can go to an incognito window and usually open up a Washington Post or New York Times article. Ukraine election, comedian Zelensky wins presidency by a landslide.
Oh my gosh.
Ukrainian comedian Zelensky has won a runoff election to become the country's next president by a landslide. The polls give him more than 70% support. He dominated the first round of voting 3 weeks ago when 39 candidates were on the ticket. Mr. Zelensky challenged incumbent President Petro Poroshenko. Mr. Poroshenko has admitted defeat but told supporters gathered in Kiev that he will not leave politics. Ukraine's president holds significant power over the security, defense, and foreign policy of the country. I will never let you down, Mr. Zelensky told his supporters on Sunday. He added, while I am not formally president yet, as a citizen of the Ukraine, I can tell all post-Soviet countries, look at us, everything is possible. If polls are correct, he will be elected for a 5-year term. Polls gave Mr. Poroshenko, who had been in power since 2014, 25% of the vote.
Wow.
The billionaire was elected after an uprising overthrew the country's previous pro-Russian government. Mr. Zelensky is best known for starring in a political satire drama in which his character accidentally becomes Ukrainian president.
Get out of town!
How is this a thing?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
With no previous political experience, his campaign focused on his difference to the other candidates rather than any concrete policy.
It says that he's only 41 years old. What's with all these young people?
I don't know what to think about this, honestly.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. See if we get...
That's so crazy.
Wow. We don't know. I've been following a little bit, but a comic and a tycoon. Billionaire versus... I didn't say...
But nobody's talking about his policies, like what his political stance is. It says that he won more on his popularity than his political views.
We don't. I don't know if any. I don't think anybody knows what they are.
Oh my gosh.
Comedian. You know what? Let's go see what Twitter has to say about the Ukraine election, because it just happened, so it is breaking news. Let's see, Shiva. Okay. Ukraine elections. Here we go. Hashtag.
Jesus Gonzalez says, recall how in the USA, the left said TV show personalities, Trump, have no business in politics. Afterward, they asked Oprah to run. LOL. Well said. They did do that. A little hypocrisy there for you.
I don't want to read what the Atlantic has to say. I don't think. Let's see. 73% to 25%.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Here, wait, does it say anything about...
Not in English.
Yeah, no. It is. That's English.
He's a famous Ukrainian actor, comedian, showman. It's featured in various comedy films. With the team, runs a comedy TV show. His popularity grew after the Servant of the People comedy TV series where he played a school teacher who suddenly becomes the president. On March 2018, Zelensky launched a party called the Servant of the People, and later on in December, he announced his candidacy for just in December, for the 2019 presidential election. He is a strong advocate of direct democracy. His anti-corruption and anti-establishment rhetoric has a lot in common with the slogans used by the founder of the Italian M5 party. He promises fighting corruption, establishing a people's rule through the use of referendums, and the removal of legal immunity for the president, deputies, and judges.
Interesting.
So if we could get something in English, that would be great. This is the president accepting defeat. Let's see. This is, you know what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to open this up. If they won't let me, then we'll... I actually trust the Wall Street Journal more than I trust anything else, because they actually are leaning more towards center-right. I might get a chance to open this one up to get us an idea of what's going on in an incognito window. It's a little trick Caitlin Johnstone taught me. That you get like one article, but nope. Wall Street Journal picked up on that one. So I'm not getting that one. It still works in the New York Times, though. Yeah, so I don't know. We just have to wait and see. We did it together, he says to the people. And
so he launches this party. in, early 2018. So he had
Yeah.
some time to kind of establish a little bit of a political footing. So it's,
So somebody says, I'm not sure who this is. The Ukraine election success is a message of hope for other democracies too. An anti-establishment movement can carry messages of hope, cosmopolitan values, and openness to the world. Police went to Zelensky's headquarters and fined him for publicly displaying his ballot paper in front of the press. He will be required to pay a $19 to $28 fine. He said, okay, broke the law. The law is the law. So
you're not allowed to show your ballot?
Yeah. He says, I'm not a politician. I'm just a simple person who has come to break down this system. So, let's see if the Rupley came up. No. Let's see. There we go. You'd think that RT would have... Russia and the Ukraine don't have really good relations right now. So we'll see. I want to see what RT has to say about it. Ukrainian comic, Zelensky is set to win the presidency in a landslide victory. The high turnout in the second round of the presidential election in the Ukraine reveals an enthusiasm for the promise of change brought by Zelensky. His team celebrated victory as soon as the first exit polls were out, even reciting a rocket launch-like countdown. The soon-to-be president didn't waste many words, simply thanking his parents, his wife, his team, and Ukrainian citizens who voted for him. He also jokingly thanked the Ukrainian security service for keeping him in shape during the campaign.
Oh my
Zelensky is in the building. In a life imitates art moment, he enters to the theme music for his Servant of the People show, in which he plays a common man who becomes a president. In 2 minutes, he may find he's won a real presidential election. He entered into the music of his TV show.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
This is so
So now we have a Ukrainian Donald Trump, which seems actually far more eccentric.
It is a Ukrainian Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's crazy, 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 crazy. So is that it for your
I had
political
more,
show?
but we can just go on. We want to play you guys some songs and have a little church service. So give us a minute. We're going to shut things down and turn the camera around. And if you guys
come
want
back
to join us for a little
in
Sunday
5 to 7 minutes.
7? That's a good number.
Okay,
All
and
right.
we'll have it all set up. I want to wish you all, if you don't join us for our church service and music and singing and Britt Boz's mail call, and I think we got a Christmas card, or Christmas, listen, I know what I'm talking about, Easter card from Kelly. We're going to open up as well. So
let's open up Britt Boz's thing right here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're here
all right
through the show.
I thought it would make for like a good Easter part of the show.
Okay. What does it matter?
Oh, and you wanted to do communion.
Yeah, so I was going to
tell him that.
Well, I was going to tell him when I switched.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's like...
Give them something to look forward to.
All right.
So tell them to go get their...
I was going to tell them...
But right now to get ready for it. In their 7 minutes.
Okay. So I thought we could all share communion. If you do not have grape juice, go get any juice, even water, some unleavened bread, some crackers, and we'll read some scriptures. And...
I have a knife here if you need it.
Okay.
Or not.
Go ahead, you open it.
No, it's your birthday present.
Oh. So he kept messaging me, did you get it? Did you get it? Finally it came. You never know with Royal Mail. You just never know the timing of that. So it was really fun to go get this. Oh, my seat just dropped. Leah and Michelle, here.
No, that's not going to work.
Oh, these are adorable.
All right. Barry, I hope I can read this out loud. We've had this discussion. Oh my gosh. Oh, chocolate.
But it's
all right.
so cute.
It is adorable. It's a bunny. Turn it around. Face the there you go. Hi, Leah and Michelle. Finally, I've managed to get Leah's present together after being ill and work commitments. I hope you enjoy. The chocolate is Swiss made, and in my mind, the best tasting chocolate in Europe. The bunnies are for Easter, which we're opening right now on Easter. Sunday. The film I've sent is about the Civil War in England, dated in 1640s, and tells the story of Oliver Cromwell, a Cambridgeshire farmer and MP in the House of Commons. It tells of his reluctant rise to become the Lord Protector of England, Scotland, and Ireland. It's a very good watch. Oh, that's really exciting. You had told me about that, and we haven't watched it yet. So I'm glad that you sent that. That looks really enjoyable.
I'm excited. That's awesome.
That looks really cool. On the
you
back.
guys, and I like that people in UK and Poland send us movies to tell us the history because it's easier to swallow. It's easier to understand than get.
All right, so the book is about the Civil War also, but gives greater detail. Oh, wow. The Wars of the Three Kingdoms, 1638 to 1660. Wow.
On a warm late summer's day in 1642, two rival English armies faced each other across the rolling Warwickshire countryside in Edgehill. Their royalists, faithful to King Charles the First, engaged the supporters of Parliament in a battle that left 1,500 dead and many more wounded. Ahead lay a bloody conflict that would divide the nation and transform the course of British history. Civil War is a vivid and dramatic account of these turbulent years from an Edinburgh churchyard in 1638, where the Scots signed the National Covenant, to their conclusion at the end of the Protectorate in 1659, as attentive to the scent of battle as he is to the machinations of the extraordinary characters. Royal's superbly drawn portrait of one of the greatest conflicts in our history is by turns evocative, shocking, and compelling, a masterpiece of narrative history. That sounds compelling.
That does sound compelling.
That is the
also
cutest
sounds
little
compelling.
bunny. But you opened the bunny already? Oh.
I did open the bunny.
Okay, you want to read the rest of it?
Yes, I want to read the rest. Okay. Both these items tell the story of how the UK's democratic system evolved into today's democracy. So, I hope this makes British politics and democracy a bit clearer for you to comprehend. These items also give the forerunner to the USA system of government, also because the father of John Locke, also called John Locke, was one of the Roundhead cavalrymen in Oliver Cromwell's army. You just taught me something about John Locke I didn't know, and I thought I knew it all. John Locke Jr., who went to the USA, took his ideas that built your nation out of the political situation during the Civil War years in Britain. Anyway, I thought you may find this interesting. It's also kind of relevant to the current politics in the UK over Brexit and the indecisiveness of the MPs, the reason being they are scared of Farage and the alt-right, just in case history repeats itself. Thanks again for all the work you girls do in getting these issues out there into the world in such an entertaining way, along with your songs, especially seeing as you are so busy with your farm and business. Well done, Barry, aka Brit Plaza. Oh boy. Oh my gosh.
I don't think I've had any like this
Lint
before.
and Sprungly. Master Swiss chocolatier.
These are things I don't think I've ever had. So this is going to be fun.
That looks really, 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 really yummy.
Dark wafer pyramid. That's
Thank
what
you.
I'm going for.
Okay, so what says Lint is super expensive. Worth Look says, I want them chocolates. Pamela says, yummy.
Can we just share? I wish we could share. I wish we could share.
Tim Smith says, double check the format of the DVD was recorded. It also, you may have to play it in your computer with software program to allow it to work. We've had to do that before.
It worked. Yeah, we did that.
The Polish videos, some of them worked.
None of them worked. They all worked in the computer, though.
Oh, that's right. And then we hooked
it up. It's so interesting that they work.
We hooked it up with the HDMI to the television.
Right.
That's what we did.
Thank you, Barry. I look forward to sitting on my porch reading your book and learning.
Bertha Look says, try each one. We can sit here and try each one. I would be okay with that. All right, here. Open Kelly's card.
Okay.
This is really good, Bunny.
Barry, I'm really happy. Thank you very much.
I don't normally care for rabbit unless it comes in the chocolate form.
Did you just come up with that?
No. They will be 20 pounds heavier next video, says Lance. They will title it Thick Chicks. Oh! Jack Russell says, I bet my shop is shut. I need chocolate now. Oh my gosh.
It's Easter Sunday. You can't go get anything.
Very well done.
Oh my goodness. Light in place of darkness, faith in place of doubt, joy that brings us all together.
It's really pretty.
To Michelle, Leah, Patriot Gallery Math, wishing you everything that is Easter. Best wishes for a wonderful season. God bless you. Love, your friend, Kelly Fish.
Aww.
I love it. It's so
That's
pretty.
so pretty. Thank you, Kelly from California. Okay, so we're gonna get everything ready, and we're gonna I'm not gonna read So What's comment. We're gonna be back here in 5 to 7 minutes, and we're gonna sing songs. And Leah's got a scripture she wants to read, and we're gonna do communion. So go get your juice and your unleavened bread crackers.
Yep.
We love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Sunday. And thank you, Barry and Kelly. All right. God bless, guys.
This isn't goodbye.
Right.
I was cold all alone. No place for